Are we live?
We are. How did you know?
So we're coming to you today from Keeler Gardens with more on trees. And I'm going to draw out this introduction while we allow people to get their notifications. What's a notification, you ask?
Ooh, I just got my notification.
A notification is a little ding or a buzz or a vibrate or a this or a that you get from your phone from Facebook letting you know that Keeler Gardens is live.
Like Veronica must have just got.
Hello, Veronica. Welcome. We're talking about trees today. So for those of you who are watching this on a replay or on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe, follow, like, get your notifications turned on here on Facebook so that you too can be here with Veronica at the beginning of every single video. So with that said, we welcome all of our guests, welcome all those watching in the replay, and we're going to talk to you today about trees.
Which we've been talking about all week.
We started on Monday with our What's in Bloom tour. We were fortunate enough to not have a lot of tree damage, and we tried to come to you on Tuesday with more tree information, but we couldn't get through because there were some power issues. Yesterday we talked about trees and how they grow and become strong, and today we're going to talk to you about a couple other aspects about trees. Ed is excited about the tree talk. Okay, so
Sorry.
yes, we all enjoy the trees, and every time we do come to you here from Keeler Gardens with our lovely videos, when you see our parkway, we do think about how this space would look with no trees.
Oof.
And how we might be a different community without trees in our parkway, and that's why we're really promoting trees this week. So what we're talking about today with respect to trees is why trees aren't always at their best. So I'm going to talk about a fact about trees that I'm going to ask everyone to not freak out, but just be aware.
Ooh, this is going to be a good one today.
Okay.
Anytime a horticulturalist can come up with controversy, you know it's got to be good.
So I don't know if you've ever seen a tree that has been planted, new or old.
Oh, you're talking with your hands. I got to back up.
And you see it, and it has a figure. It has a waistline, and it has hips. Remember, Ed actually brought this up. Remember when we were kids and we would draw a tree on a piece of paper? We would draw it like this.
Yes.
And then we would draw the leaves up here. Okay? You can go that way and look at that tree. It has a little bit of that.
It does have a
waistline.
little bit of that.
See the waistline at the base where it hits the ground?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay.
Maybe.
Many of the older trees, you'll see their roots, and they're reaching out and they're crawling through that ground. Now, sometimes you'll see trees, all sizes, and their trunks go like this. And they stop either at the ground or at a mound of
I'm going
grass,
with you.
dirt, or mulch. Yes. Okay. We're going to say right now that that probably isn't the best thing.
Maybe we'll make that our hashtag stick around today.
Probably not the best thing. Now, arborists will say, it's horrible, don't do it. Getting everybody on board to not do that is tough. Now,
I don't think people know what you're talking about.
Oh,
the volcano.
The volcano? So when mulch, wood chips or mulch is placed around a tree so high that you can't see that curvature. So like on that tree over there, imagine that nice spread at the bottom near the ground covered in wood chips all the way up like a foot. Okay?
It almost looks like there's a volcano and the tree was put in the center of the volcano.
That is not good for the tree because anywhere where there's bark, it should never be covered and allowed to be stagnant, to get damp and stay damp, because that bark is like your skin. And if you were standing in 2 feet of water for your entire life, you'd have some problems too.
Just ask Bert from the Christmas special.
Yes. So one of the things that we want to show you is that this tree, wow, this tree is 30, 35, maybe 40 years old. I wasn't here when it was planted. But when I moved to this property the first time in '91, it was relatively small. It was manageable. It wasn't like this.
But it wasn't a sapling.
It was not a sapling by any stretch of the imagination. It was probably, I would say it was probably at least 10 years old. Okay. At least. Okay, so I, as a horticulturalist, now know about how to manage tree roots. And I didn't at the time. And when we built the pollinator habitat, we were quite aggressive with managing the space for the whole habitat.
Yeah, we kind of forgot about the tree.
And we did mulch too high up on the trees. Now the problem I'm going to show you is not something that happens like overnight or in 1 year. It's probably been happening for a long time. But what happens with trees when they're mulched too high or when their flare is not allowed. Okay, so look, can you
flare
see?
Is different than bling.
Can you see the difference in the bark and the root flare. Can you get close enough? See, this is woody. This is corky.
Corky.
All right, corky, woody.
You
now,
can see the texture.
and
basically, is the best
and
way to see
really,
it on the camera.
the soil here, it's too close. Year after year, over the next several years, we're going to be pulling this back. Now, in this first year, this year, where we started pulling this back, we noticed what's called a girdling root.
Well, before you get there, you can actually see the line.
Oh, yeah, here.
You know, like a tree ring almost. You can see the line
of where the soil was.
Dirt, and you can also see up higher where the dirt was also. So right above that plug, I believe.
There might have been dirt up even this high.
That was the line for the lower plug, and then 2 years before that, I believe, was where the dirt line was for that higher plug, because they put it in, I believe, right at the ground.
And so,
maybe not, but I believe.
Okay, so here's what we're
back on track, Ed.
And here's what we have, an interesting realization here that I'm trying to show everyone about girdling roots. Okay,
now we're moving on girdling roots.
Let's talk about what happens when you plant a tree. If this tree was younger, okay, I mean like sapling younger, what would happen is if you planted the soil too high, the roots would do this. Okay, they would wrap around the tree and choke it. Takes dozens of years off the life of a tree, and it prevents it from being healthy. Now, in this case, this root is not actually from this tree.
Oh, it isn't?
No.
Oh.
This root is from either...
No.
Look at your, see this?
Trying.
This is a seedling of the tree we showed you earlier, next door. The leaves are completely different. This is not a,
ash.
This is not an ash.
Right.
Okay. So this, if you look at the roots of this guy, okay, this guy is going wherever he can.
Okay.
And he is girdling this tree. So, in general, this is not usually the case where it's two different trees fighting it out, because one will not make it. The baby one will probably not make it. But that gives you a good visual of what a girdling root can look like. So, this is a very deep piece of information that I find incredibly interesting. When a tree is planted too deep or the soil is too high, the roots, instead of going down and out, they grow in circles around the tree and choke it. Okay, so if you think that this is a problem for your young tree, that it's been planted too deep, let me know. Leave a comment. Email us. I'm Gina@KeelerGardens.org. I will show you how to...
I'm a little verklempt over the...
I'm a little verklempt.
Girdling.
I will show you how to dig that out. I dug out some trees down the street. They've been in the ground for 2 or 3 years, but they were probably 10 or more years old when they got put in the ground. They're substantial trees. And I pulled the soil away. I found the girdling roots and I followed them out, shaved them down, and then we water profusely. Now, I'm going to jump. If you have questions on girdling roots, let me know, because I know that was quick, but I wanted you to see that visual, the flare and the girdling. Trees need at least an inch of water a week. If a tree is not getting an inch of water a week, it is thirsty. It's dehydrated. It's water. Okay. Water. Just remember that. New trees need even more. If anyone has a new tree that they just planted and you need a method to water it, I have 6 or 8 gator bags. I think 6 of them. You see those green things around the trees? They're not the best thing to use on a tree, but if you need help watering your tree, it's better than nothing. We'll talk about that on another occasion if you have questions. So, with that said, our programming here, coming virtually to you, let us help you connect with nature. Let us help you be educated. Let us help you with topics that you like. Let us help with your kids. Let's add something to everyone's day. And let's help in some communities that are underserved. If you know of anyone that can benefit from these videos or these kinds of programming, let us know.
And who doesn't?
We'll work with you on it. We'll find ways to make programming work for you. I'm Gina at KeelerGardens.org.
I'm Ed at KeelerGardens.org, and our website is KeelerGardens.org.
So we're going to quickly go to the hashtag stick around, because you'll listen to us talk. And yesterday we did xylem. Today we do phloem. I believe it's spelled P-H-L-E-O-M, where xylem takes the water up from the roots.
Phloem brings it back down?
No.
Oh.
Phloem brings the nutrients, not the water-soluble things, but the actual nutrients well, I guess you could say brings it back down, but where leaves photosynthesize, but roots need food too. Roots aren't photosynthesizing, they're not making sugars. The phylum helps get the sugars to those places that aren't actually creating the nutrients.
Cool.
I will put that word in the
Comments,
so you can look it up.
and then there'll be a red line underneath it because I'm betting they don't have phylum.
And these are the kinds of things that we suggest. Show your kids. Show in your botany class, in your science class. Let us help you create topics and simple things that are exciting to learn about.
I wanted another thing for hashtag stick around today too. So as
we have time?
How far is the video? Yeah, I got time.
Okay.
I got a minute left.
All right.
All right.
Talk
So
fast.
Gina had mentioned when we think about what our pollinator habitat might look like without trees. And one of the things, if I can keep the internet connection, which I think I can, is if I kind of turn like this and show how lush and everything is. Oh, sorry, you weren't on, but now I'll put you on since you're waving. Right? And you get this wonderful canopy. And then if I just go straight to the next, again, you can see the difference. And we're very grateful that our new neighbors there have planted another tree. And again, Chicago will plant trees. You just have to ask and get on waiting lists and other things. So
And
again,
we can help you figure all that out.
we can help you
Just
do that.
Leave us a message or a comment.
All right. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. And we will see you hopefully tomorrow.
With Feature Friday, as long as we've got power.
All right.
All right, take care, everyone.